Aloha and welcome to Aquarian Radio at aquarianradio.com. This is an episode of Enki Speaks on the Aquarian Radio Network. The series is called The Anunnaki and Us, 30 Chapters of Our History, 4.5 billion years ago to 311 BCE. I'm your host, Janet Carol Lesson, and I am here with my co-host, anthropologist Dr. Sasha Lesson. In this episode, we share chapters 10 to 11. And they are about 2 minutes long, and one is the mutiny of the astronaut corps.
There are two mutinies.
There are two mutinies. Okay, sorry, misread that. And the other is the mutiny of the South African Gold Miners Union. And first we're doing chapter 10. Ninurta defeated Anzu and the Ajiji astronaut corps. So here is Dr. Sasha Lesson to begin today's episode. Take it away, sweetheart.
400,000 years ago, Commander Enlil built 4 centers in Sumer, Iraq. His spaceport was called Sipar. Enlil's mission control was called Nippur. He had a medical center at Charupek, and then he had a metallurgy center at Batibara. Enki, who was the chief mining expert and scientist, sent submersible boats from Southeast Africa right up the Persian Gulf to Batibara. There, at Batibara, the technicians processed the gold into bars. At Nippur, Enlil built the Duran Key, which is called the Bond Heaven-Earth, and it was a communication chamber. It had telescopes that connected to a great big tall broadcasting tower. From that tower, Enlil could talk with similar towers in each of the Nibiran centers, and he could also talk to the Nibirans on the rockets, and they could speak to Earth. From Mars base, Anzu, he's now in charge of it. Anzu is ruling 300 Nibirans. He also is in charge of the space station that circles the Earth and the shuttle service. Anzu's men were called the Ijiji, and they would rocket down to Sipar, load the gold from that come up from Africa. So Mars took the gold off of Mars all the way back to Nibiru. There, scientists powdered this gold and spread it into the air of Nibiru, and slowly in Nibiru, the breach in their heavens was healing. Then, Earth's climate warmed dramatically. In Africa, Enki left the mines, and he just let the Nibirans who'd come as volunteers just work in the mines. They can be the heroes. They came to save the whole planet. Good. Enki was going to go off in this nice warm weather and see what was happening. Well, years in the dark mines had really soured the miners, and they started complaining, really complaining. Inugi, who ran the miners for Enki, while Enki was out studying these hominoids, including Homo erectus. Inugi's running the station. He's getting flack from the miners, so he radios Enki in Zimbabwe. What should I do? But Enki said, hey, the miners got a good point. See if you can ameliorate their situation. But then Enki actually plotted with the miners. Hey, listen, boys, shrink the gold shipments. That'll lure Enlil to the mines, and then you can trap him. I'll save things then. I have just the thing that'll free all of you guys from Nibiru. All we got to do is get the commander down here, and all he'll need to do is just let me and my team engineer some Earth-adapted miners.
From Mars, Anzu and the Ajiji demanded Enlil better their work conditions, issue more elixir, and build a recreation center on Earth. Anu from Nibiru ordered Anzu to Earth to talk with Enlil. The king told Enlil to show Anzu everything. At Nippur, Enlil wouldn't at first show the Durnaki control room to Anzu. Enlil told Anzu, I alone rule all Earth operations. You and the Ajiji must obey, not challenge me. Enki, however, told Enlil to show the gold mining, refining, and transport system to Anzu. Get Anzu to keep his men on the job. So Enlil told Anzu, let's cover ourselves with sterile clothes for the restricted area. But when Enlil stripped, Anzu stole his keys, slipped into the control room, and seized the crystals, which are computers that ran Sumer's spaceport and cities. Anzu forced pilot Abgal to take him to the spaceport, Shu-Ru-Pak, where Anzu's men declared Anzu king of Earth and Mars. Anzu turned off vital services at the headquarters in Nibiru Key, cut Earth-Nibiru communications, and from his aircraft buzzed Enlil-light positions. Ninurta launched his jet and shot Anzu down. Then the Ninurta freed Abgal, retrieved the crystals that controlled the expedition's facilities. Finally, the champ captured Anzu and dragged him before Enlil. Ninurta dragged Anzu before Enlil, the seven who judge, Enki, Damkina, Marduk, Nanar, Enlil, Ninmah, and Ninurta, and they found Anzu guilty of treason. Ninurta executed him with a killing ray. Enlil ordered Marduk to display Anzu's body on Mars, then bury him there. Let the astronauts see Ninurta kills rebels.
Nanar, who's Enlil's first son with Sud, Ninlil, his official wife, had secretly directed Anzu's revolt. Secretly. Nanar had used Anzu as his agent, and it was meant for him to challenge Ninurta, except that Ninurta won. Ninurta was Enlil's firstborn, and so it's really this hidden competition that's going on all along within Enlil's lineage between Nanar, who's the legal son, and the heir, who's been declared, who's Ninurta, who's this great warrior. Okay, so Nanar, after Ninurta wins and shoots down Anzu, Enlil sends Nanar, go to Ur. Just get out of my sight for now. He was too mad. Ninurta now became Enlil's foremost warrior. And he was going to, he gave him this incredible missile system. It was called a 1B missile. It was a weapon with 50 killing heads. Enlil and Ninurta could now, with unmatched firepower from their multi-headed missiles, intimidate even the Nibiruans working the African mines for Enki.
Chapter 11. Enki incited mutiny of Anunnaki miners.
Earth's climate warmed, as I said, dramatically. And Enki now is just leaving the mines to his foreman, Anunnaki, and he is going to study Homo erectus, who is the ancestor of modern Neanderthals. That's Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Alma, that's still with us. Enki thought that Homo erectus would be the key to adapting Nibiru's genome to Earth.
The miners griped that boss Anunnaki overworked them. Anunnaki messaged Enki, but Enki sided with the miners. He plotted with them to shrink gold shipments, lure Enlil to the mines, and trap him. Enki would then save Enlil and free the miners from Nibiru as well. All the commander needed to do was let him, Ninmah, and Nigashita engineer Earth-adapted miners. When the miners withheld gold for Batibara, as Enki had told him to do, Enlil sent Ninurta to investigate. Ninurta reported that the miners were backbiting and lamenting. In the excavations, they were grumbling. They said, "Unbearable is the toil." "Call Enlil to the mines," Enki told Ninurta. "Let the commander see how the miners suffer." When Enlil and his vizier, Nusku, arrived, "Let us unnerve Enlil," mine-working heroes shouted. "Of the heavy work, let him relieve us. Let us proclaim war. With hostilities, let us gain relief." To their tools they set fire, and fire to their axes they put. They held Anunnaki hostage, and with tools as torches, surrounded the house Enlil occupied. Enlil beamed Anu to shuttle to Earth and shoot the miners' leaders and their instigator, implying Enki. But the miners wouldn't tell Ninurta who led or incited them, but Anu felt for them.
Ninurta wanted new miners from Nibiru, Enlil wanted to execute the miners on the site because they were mutineers as far as he was concerned. Then Enki, to the rescue, says, "Let us create a Lulu, a primitive worker, the hardship to take over. Let the being, the toil of the Anunnaki, carry on his back. The being that we need, it's already here. All we have to do is put on it the mark of our essence, our genes, thereby a Lulu, a primitive worker, shall be created." Enki showed Erectus to Enlil and to Ninurta and said, "Ningishita, my son, their fashioning essence, their DNA structure, has tested. Akin to ours it is. Like two serpents it is entwined. When with our life essence shall be it combined, our mark upon them shall be a primitive worker shall be created. Our commands the primitive worker will understand. Our tools he will handle. The toil in the excavations he shall perform. To the Anunnaki and Abzu relief can come." Well, Enlil objected. "Don't you dare create slaves. Slavery has from Nibiru long been ended. Tools are slaves, not other beings."
Ninurta told Enki, "Make machines, not slaves. Earthlings we create," said Enki, "shall helpers, not slaves, be." Enlil shouted, "To create hybrid beings is, in the rules of planet journeys, forbidden." Enki responded, "A new species create we shall not. The ape-man is in his fashioning essence, genotype, as we and the Nibiru are. Our ancestor is the ape-man. Into us he evolves. Speed, ape-man, shall we, speed him, but some millions of years to what has already been his destiny."
Enki and Enlil beamed Anu and the council on Nibiru. Each brother voiced what they thought should be done. Enki said, "Yes, we need to do this to make a worker race." Enlil said, "No way. We shouldn't have slaves." Well, the king ruled. The council ratified what Enki said. Nibiru sent the message to Earth. Gold must be obtained. Let the being be fashioned. Forsake the rules of planetary journeying. Let Nibiru be saved.
And that's been another episode of Enki Speaks. Our books are Anunnaki Gods No More, Anunnaki Legacy of the Gods, and our new book is Dance of the Souls. These are all available on Amazon.com. Thank you for joining us. Next chapter is Chapter 12, Slave Race Engineered. And this has been your host, Janet Carroll Lesson, with co-host Dr. Sasha Lesson. Say aloha.
Aloha nui loa.